I like to go, my lowest is $10 items, and then I do bring up, like, I'll bring my large items that go up to like 200 plus dollars. But
Okay.
typically, my best sellers are in the 20 to $30 range, so I try to bring a lot of those.
Today, in this new episode of the Crochet Podcast, we are welcoming Aaron, also known as the Crochet Carpenter on social medias. I'm so excited to hear more about his story, his crochet business, and his wide experience with craft markets. Let's meet Aaron. Hi, Aaron. I'm so excited to have you on the Crochet Podcast. Thank you so much for accepting my invite.
Hi, Mathilde.
Hi. Are you having a good day?
Yeah, I'm having a great day. It was my birthday yesterday, so I've
Yes.
been celebrating. Thank you for having me. I feel like it's an honor. So I
Oh,
appreciate
thank you.
being invited to join you.
Thank you so much. First of all, I want to invite everyone in the comment section to wish you a happy birthday. It's gonna be delayed a little bit, but I think that's important.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course, I'm so happy to have you. I I think I got to see your page the first time. Thank you. Thanks to the Yarnley Cup. And yes, and since then I love your content. I know you love animals. I love animals. So I love everything about your page.
Well, thank you. Yeah, Yarnley, I feel like introduced me to like a huge part of the community, and it
Yes, I
just a lot of people now know me as the Yarnley guy.
definitely. Can you show it to us?
Yeah,
Maybe.
so I've got there's
I love
this
that.
is the original one that I made as a
Wow.
complete joke, and I never expected to like
Really?
I never thought it was gonna take off.
Yeah. Well, it did.
Yeah, it did. And then I made the little one because I needed
Oh.
sizes. And then after the little one came the giant one.
I
That's
feel I will
like,
need that one full of coffee in the morning.
yeah. Especially on a
Oh, I
Monday, you
love
know?
it.
Yes.
Did you cricket the little letters?
Yeah, so it's all
Oh, that's
the same
cool.
as like what you put on t-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just ironed on. Like, I was worried that the yarn was going to melt, but
Yeah.
surprisingly, it doesn't. Like, it flattens it a little bit, and then you just take a
Uh-huh.
toothbrush, and
Yes.
it fluffs right back up, so you don't even
Well,
notice.
it looks perfect. I think that's such a good idea because, like, this cup, we see it everywhere. Like, I know in Utah,
I
if you
was
don't have
gonna
your
say,
cup,
yeah,
you're not a Utah, right? Like, so I think it's such a good idea.
yeah, for sure. Well, I seen the trend, especially when they were reselling like this version for so high. I was like, oh, this is hilarious. I gotta get in on this, and everyone loves it, and even
And
still today. Yeah.
it's so funny how you say you didn't. We always say sometimes you can go viral without even thinking about it. And it's so funny that you said, like, you didn't, you made that as a joke.
Yeah, like I had no idea it was actually going to become a thing. Like I made it because it was funny.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that's such a good idea. I think you did perfect. And it really looks like it. It's absolutely perfect.
thank you. Yeah, I tried to make it the exact measurements when you use the
Really?
materials.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's that's so cool. And so you sell it as a pattern, right? In your shop?
Yeah, so there's patterns for all three sizes or as a
Uh-huh.
combo for all together.
Is that your bestseller pattern?
At this point, yes.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah, by far.
Oh wow, that's such a cool idea.
Yeah. No, I never expected it. And now it's like, do I make another version? Because Stanley just came out with their new version of a flask. So I've been toying with the idea. We'll see.
I think you should because they are always like improving their products. So maybe you should do the same every time
Yeah,
and just follow the
exactly.
trend. I saw they made one to travel. So you have like a Stanley cup and you can you have a little cup on top. So
Yeah.
maybe you should make that one.
And I think it's got a strap too.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah. We'll
it's like a
see.
traveling cup.
We'll see. I don't know.
Can could you please introduce yourself? Because usually we start with the introduction and we went straight to the yarn makeup. But can you please introduce yourself for people that don't know you already?
So I'm Aaron. I'm the Crochet Carpenter. I live in Toronto, Canada. I'm an older brother to a little sister who everyone assumes is my daughter, but she's my sister. And I have two fur babies, Bailey and Callie, who are featured heavily in my
Yeah.
content. Um,
Yes.
I love to make everything with blanket yarn, as you can see behind me. It's my main
Mm-hmm.
yarn. And I picked up crochet as like I don't know if we want to get into that yet. But yeah, that's about me.
So you started crochet as a hobby, right?
Yeah, as we all do. And a lot of us, I feel like, picked it up during the pandemic. And that's exactly what got me started.
I will say 90% of crocheters.
Especially our generation at this point, I feel like that's what got a lot of us
Yeah.
into it.
So can you tell me more about, I think everybody is curious, why is your name the Crochet Carpenter on Instagram?
So I've been framing houses for about 8 years. Well, 8 years ago, I started framing houses.
Wow.
I went to school for it. I went to George Brown here in Toronto, and picked up
Okay.
a job with some guys that I actually went to middle school with. So it's all people in my neighborhood and it's close-knit friends.
Wow.
It's like working with your buddies. And then during the pandemic, I
That's
didn't
cool.
lose work. I lost my social life. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
picked up crochet, and it was actually the very first name that I thought of because I wanted to start an Instagram page to post what I was making without like annoying my
Uh-huh.
friends and family with just like flooding my
Yes.
personal page with it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So then the Crochet Carpenter was born.
Is it your full-time job?
At this point, crochet currently is my full-time job. It has
Okay.
been and it hasn't been over the last couple of years. I've gone back and forth between framing full-time and crocheting full-time. It just depends on like the climate at this point.
I think that's cool. You have this freedom. Like, could you call it that way? Like the freedom to choose
Entirely.
between both?
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's cool. And like
Yeah.
that, you never get tired of one of them, I will say.
No, and honestly, I'm kind of surprised that crochet, like I've stuck with it for this long, because usually I pick up a hobby and I move on. Like I've done cross stitching.
Mm.
I went through a Lego phase. My house is full of Lego. Uh, I did like embroidery. I've done the Cricut phase was a little while, but
Oh,
crochet, like I've
yes.
stuck with it now
Same.
for 4 years, and at this point, like
Yeah.
I haven't gotten tired of it, and I don't think I will for the foreseeable future, at least.
Yeah. I just feel crochet is so it's so wide. You can make so many things, different projects, different yarn. That's what I think didn't make me feel tired of it because I'm kind of the same way as you. Like I get bored a little
Yeah.
bit, but I feel like with crochet, it's always a new thing coming, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Like the options are literally endless. Like you could make a cup, or you
Yeah.
could make animals, or you could
That,
make
yes.
clothing. Like it's just
Yeah.
whatever your imagination can come up with, and you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's how I felt when I saw your cup. I was like, "Oh my God, this is so different than what we see usually. That's so cool." And you always get entertained like that by people content. You know, I think that's so cool.
Yeah, well, you got to keep it fresh, I think, because we're always not competing with each other, but we're always trying to like, we're literally artists and we're trying to show off the best of our what we can
Yes.
do. So it's always like, oh, I can do this and
Yeah.
I can do this. And we're
Yeah.
always like
Yeah.
one-upping each other, and I feel like it's making the community grow with what we're
Yes.
putting out there
Absolutely.
because it's helping push each other in a creative way.
Yeah. Yeah, it really challenge. I know as an artist, it challenges me all the time. Like you can never get settled, and you always have to find the new cool thing to make. I feel, but it's
Yeah.
good as a creator to feel that way. You know?
Yeah, you can't ever get like comfortable in a way. Like it
No,
no?
never,
Yeah.
never.
Yeah.
But sometimes it can be overwhelming too. Like it can be, sometimes I don't know if you feel that way sometimes, but just having to always create content and stuff, it can be a challenge. I feel sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Like I find that I have to give boundaries, so I give myself like I don't post every day. I'll do 1 or 2 days a week that I'm like I try to stay off the internet and I'm not responding to as many comments,
Yeah.
but I still want to respond to everybody. So it's that challenge, you know?
Right? Yeah. You feel a little bit pressured sometimes. I feel.
Yeah, especially as you start to grow as an account, like it's interesting how it evolves from just like being an artist to now you're more of like an influencer and it feels weird to say that,
Yes.
but just like you have more
No, but
people
that's true. You
looking up
influence
to
people
you.
around you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you have more eyes on your work and they're taking notes from what you're doing, and you always want to be portraying your best self and the best you can do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your advice? Like you say you want to be portraying yourself like the best way. What's your advice to do that?
um be yourself. Like I find that I get the most when I was when I was behind the camera and not in front. Nobody really had any interest in what I was doing, and I don't know if it's because I'm a male in a female dominated industry, or if it's just because like I put myself out there and people could relate with me more because I'm a more of a person than
Yes.
just the art. Because I personally,
Yes.
I like following accounts that I can get to know the person as well as what they're making. Like I love following along
Yes.
with like their families and their dogs and like just their life
Yeah.
stories. And that's what I try to put out
Love
there.
seeing the dogs.
Yeah, everybody, yeah, I love seeing everyone's dogs, cats, pets, whatever you've
Yes.
got. Yeah, it just, I wish I could have them all in my house, but there's only room for so many.
Yes, right.
Yeah. So I
Yes.
can live vicariously through everyone else. But it's just, be yourself. That's my best.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think being yourself is really important, and sometimes it can be, like I will say, like it can be scary, because you always want to show the best, like way of being and stuff. But you're right. Like I think being yourself, and you will always have people supporting you and loving who you are and stuff. So I think that's literally the best advice. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that because otherwise you're not being genuine and people can see right through that.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true. Absolutely true. Well, thank you for this advice. If you guys are listening and you want to create your crochet page, be yourself. And I will say, show your face.
Yes,
I
yes.
mean, some people don't show their face, and it's totally fine because they are very recognizable brand image. I will say, some people, you see their picture and you know right away who they are.
Yeah, no, I totally
But
understand.
I
Yeah.
feel showing your face is cool too. Yeah.
At least that's the way I did it. And it's not necessarily the way for everyone, but it's the advice that I have.
That's the way you feel comfortable.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And also it takes, I don't know if it happened to you, but you say you used to be behind the camera and I used to be the same. It takes some courage, like to show your face.
Yeah, for
It
sure.
takes some
Oh
time.
yeah. Yeah, it took a little while to be comfortable, especially like the stupider that I've gotten with my reels, like the more creative and silly. Even things like this. Like
Yes.
I was a little nervous for coming on to chat with you today. But
Really?
yeah,
Oh
for
no.
sure. Just because, like you build these things up in your head so much. But it's really just about,
Yes.
being yourself, as I said, you know?
Yes, yes. And you are very like genuine and kind, and I feel like people can feel that. I feel like I always say I feel like kindness is really important. But like when someone is kind, I feel like your audience and people that are listening to the podcast can feel
Yeah,
it.
yeah, for sure.
I
Thank you. I appreciate
think
that.
that's important. Yes, of course. Of course. And I want to talk. I know it was not in the list of questions I sent you, but you dropped a pattern for Bailey,
Yeah,
your dog.
yeah, yeah.
And I want to talk about him a little bit because I want to say Bailey reminds me, you know, the name of the movie, The Dog Purpose. I don't know if you've seen that movie.
A dog's purpose. I think so.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
about,
Is that the
it's
one where
such
they
a, okay, it
cycle
makes you
through
cry.
different dogs?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And he goes to change people's life, you know, every time. And when you say your dog is Bailey, you remind me of this movie, and I'm like, oh, I want to talk about your dog.
Yeah, I know.
So how old is Bailey?
Bailey's 11. Well, she's gonna be 11 in a couple weeks. She was a
Wow, it's your
rescue
birthday.
kind of. So my friend found
Uh-huh.
her on the side of the road, and she was allergic, so she couldn't
No.
keep her. So I ended up volunteering, and so I've had Bailey since she was 5 weeks old. So she was barely
Wow,
old
so
enough to be
small.
away from her mom. We don't know where she came from, um,
Yeah.
but
She
she's
was just like that on the side of the road.
yeah, yeah. Somebody had
Wow.
just left her. So she's
Wow.
bonded with me, like she follows me, like she's glued to me. She's my shadow. She's my baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And you have another
yeah,
dog
I
too,
have
right?
Callie, who is, I love her just as much equally. Uh, she's,
Yes,
she just
yes.
turned 8. They've grown up as sisters. I've not always had Callie. She came to us about 4 years ago. So, but they grew
Okay.
up together and they love each other and they snuggle all the time. So, but Bailey had,
Oh, that's good to get along.
yeah. So, but Bailey had like emergency surgery a couple weeks ago and scared the crap out of
Oh,
us.
okay.
And there was,
Is she
she's
okay now?
okay now. She recovered fully, but it was a very like it was a serious surgery. And so I developed the Bailey pattern in honor of Bailey, but also as a way to like I didn't want to outright ask people to help me because vet bills are very, very
Mm.
expensive. But this way, if anyone is interested
Yes.
in making a Bailey, all of the proceeds go towards the surgery
Oh, to
costs.
support.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's such a good idea. Like, as you say, like instead of asking people like directly for
Yeah.
money, I think that's such a good idea to make a pattern. If I will put the link
Yeah, for
in
sure.
the
No, no
description of the
pressure at
video.
all.
If
No pressure at all, but I appreciate that.
no,
I appreciate that.
I mean we know vet bills mostly for a surgery can be like whoo.
Yeah.
But as long as she's okay, it was worth
Yes,
it.
exactly. Like she's family. There was no question. It's whatever it takes to make sure that she's okay. So,
Yes, yes. Yeah, I feel like when you get a dog, you go full in or you don't adopt a dog. Like you have to
exactly.
take care of them as your family. If not, just don't get a pet, you know, like
Yeah, no, they're my daughters. That's the way I look at it. Like they're my fur
I
babies.
I get
Yeah.
it, trust me. I have two sons and they're my dogs.
Yeah, exactly.
I totally
Yeah.
understand. And I feel everybody that have pets can understand. Like people that don't have pets cannot understand
They don't
the
relate.
connection.
Yeah.
No, and they think we are crazy.
Yeah, they're like, why are you dressing them up? Why are you talking to them? Why are you spoiling them so much? They're my
Yes,
babies.
it's because they are our babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally understand. Well, thank you for sharing your beautiful story about Bailey and Kylie. Callie. Do I
Callie.
say it right?
Yeah, 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 you got it. Callie. Yeah.
Callie. And I will put the link in the description for Bailey pattern if you want to support her vet bill and her
Oh, well,
recovery
thank you.
because I'm sure there is care after the surgery also, right?
No, actually, surprisingly, no,
No?
she's fine.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
she
good.
healed perfectly, very quickly for her age, and she's a very spry 11-year-old dog. She's gonna live for a long time, I think. Yeah, she's
Yes.
in great health.
She seems very solid
Oh
when
yeah.
I see videos of her. Like, she doesn't seem 11 years old
No,
at
no,
all.
not at all. Yeah. No, she's super
You keep
healthy.
her young.
I try
That's good.
to. Yeah, lots of walks.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. Can you tell me more about your crochet business? Because I know I checked a little bit your content, and so you write patterns, but you also do markets,
Yes,
right?
yeah, I do both. I know that
Okay.
a lot of us try, like a lot of people either do one or the other. But while I
Yeah.
was doing the markets, I realized there was a need for, in some part, marketable patterns, ones that were no so easy to make and
Yes.
create.
100%. Yeah.
Because you don't want to have things where you're sewing lots of pieces because your overhead and your time, it just goes way up and you're not making any money as a marketer. So I started as a marketer and then I moved into doing the pattern writing. And I
Yeah.
try to do, at least in past years, I've done markets every weekend. But this year things have changed because the economy is not the greatest. I don't know what it's like in Utah, but our markets
Okay.
season hasn't been the
Same.
greatest. So I am,
I think we are like everybody
everyone's
is
feeling
like
it this year. Yeah,
surviving.
we're just trying to get by.
Mm,
So I'm not doing as many events this year, and I'm hoping to go back to framing soon.
mhm.
But even then,
Yeah.
that's feeling it economy wise. Nobody's buying houses, so there's nothing for us to build.
Yes. Oh, yes, everything is
Everything's connected.
connected. Yeah, I
Yeah.
understand.
But
Yeah, I definitely feel it. Like I feel like first of all, when the economy is not good, like crocheting is not a priority for a lot of people, and groceries are a priority, gas are a priority. So I've seen a lot of like free patterns and stuff, and I think it's important that like to support the community a little bit with that,
yeah,
because I feel it's tough for a lot of people and even for creators.
for sure. Yeah, like I've put out a few free patterns lately
Yeah,
because I know that
yeah,
it's tough now and everyone's feeling it. And it's just a rough year, and if we can get through this one, I think we'll be set. Things always bounce back eventually.
yes,
It's just a matter of holding on and getting through.
yes.
Yeah.
My parents always told me you will have one financial crisis in your life, hopefully only one, and I feel I'm in the middle of it. Like I hope it doesn't get too much
I
worse.
think so. Yeah. Every generation has one, so this
Yeah.
is just ours. Yeah. I
You
think
think?
so. I
I hope
hope
there is
so. I
not
hope
two.
so. We'll see.
Yeah. But you keep like doing great, and like you keep posting content. I think it's also very important not to give up during that time, because things might get better. And I always, they say in business, they always say if you can make it through a crisis, your business is gonna bloom after it. So
Hopefully.
that's good.
Yeah.
Like we don't give
No,
up.
exactly. And I feel like making content and making my silly uplifting reels lately, like it puts a smile on everyone's
Yes, it
face,
helps so
not even
much.
mine.
Yes,
Like it just brightens everyone's day, and we all need a little bit of that right now. So,
yes, yes. Every time I look at your content, I'm like, oh, that's so positive. That's so nice. Like I think it's important. Yes, and you do that
thank
great.
you. Yeah, life's too short. We all have to be happy. Like, it's how you live longer.
Yeah. Any stuff, like I do feel like we are lucky we can live off our passion, but like I think some people really struggle. It can be very hard, like right now.
Yeah, no, it's
So being
definitely
positive
not
is
easy
important.
even just to live off of our passion, right? Like as you know, it's constantly it's a 24/7 365, and if there's more hours in the day, we would be using them. So,
Absolutely. We've I think everybody works very hard, even more right
yeah,
now,
for
I
sure.
feel. Yeah. To keep creating content, to keep creating like patterns and stuff like that. I think everybody, and you can see it, everybody is working really
Yeah.
hard. But that's good. It keeps the community engaging and
Yeah,
attractive, I would
exactly.
say.
Because there's always something new. And like I said before, like we're always trying to one up each other. And at this point, like if there's nothing going on, at least we can have time to be more creative with things. And our focus is always going to be somewhere, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Like for me, if I'm not doing markets, as you said, like doing both, if I'm not doing markets, I'm focusing on pattern designing. So that's why like I'm doing more of that this year. I'm going to try and push myself and
Yeah.
do like more free patterns, more paid patterns.
Like to diversify a little bit your offers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I
And just
understand.
get more of like I've got notebooks full of patterns that
Really?
I've had and I just have never put out there.
You
So
have
and now
to.
like I'll have more time. So yeah,
At least you have a
because
basis to
like
it. You don't have to create them all, you know?
yeah, like since I started crocheting, really, I freehand a lot of my stuff, and so I've just been jotting it down. And at this point, like I've filled 3 notebooks worth of designs. So now it's just weeding out the ones that
Wow.
like people might actually be interested in, you know?
It's like your golden book. Like, do not lose it.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Like today, I was making strawberries, and I haven't made strawberries in 2 years, but I just flip back in the book, and there they are.
Oh, that's so convenient. I feel strawberries will do good for markets.
That's what I'm doing them for. So this weekend I have like a strawberry
Yeah.
themed, it's a strawberry picking event at a strawberry farm. And so I'm making up a bunch of little
Yeah.
strawberries for that.
You're gonna bring them to the farm and take pictures with them?
Yeah, for sure. And then I'm gonna have them for sale because it's
Oh,
a
that's a
market
good idea.
at the farm. So I'm gonna get a bunch of those little
Oh, that's
plastic
perfect.
containers, I think, the little green ones, and then just put strawberries in each
Uh-huh.
of them.
Awesome. That's so cute. I love fruits and vegetables. That's how I got to know about amigurumis. You remember, like, it used to be fruit and vegetables everywhere,
Yeah, yeah.
and I still love seeing them.
Yeah, for sure. I went through that phase too. It's interesting how
Yeah,
things like cycle
making
through.
food.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What do you feel is a trend right now?
Right now, I feel like cats are trending. Cats, like dragons at the start of
Yes,
the
the
year,
love cats.
and now people have moved
Yes,
on to
dragon. Yeah.
cats, and it's those loaf cats that you said. Yeah, and there's a couple different
Yes.
patterns of them floating around I've seen, but they're just so cute, and everyone,
Yeah.
especially with that little butt.
They are so cute. Yes, I have the little cross.
Yeah.
And I
Uh,
think it's so perfect for markets because people just, they can grab them and you have a bunch of different colors. I think it's important to give options to clients. And I feel like the cats, you can make a million version of them.
yeah, and it's also something at markets I found that if you can connect with like their interest or something they have at home. So if it's a cat that looks like their cat,
Yes.
it's more of an easier buy for them type thing. Yeah,
Yes.
because they already have that interest in it, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's amazing you have this experience of market because I never did a market before. And I think it's great that you
Okay.
bring that. I have a ton of things I should sell
Yeah,
in a
what do you
market.
do with everything?
I just, there is like this full,
Yeah.
I'm like stacking. One day I will do a market, but I feel
One
it's
day.
amazing you have this experience because it makes your patterns even better because you know your audience, you know what people are looking for.
Yeah, like for the most part, before I release a pattern, I've already tried it out at markets and seen if people have interest,
Mm,
and that way I can give a bit of feedback as to whether or not like it is a good seller or it is
yeah.
at a good price point and stuff like that,
Oh
you know?
yes. Yeah. What would you suggest to have a good you talk about price. What do you suggest to set a good price for your item?
Honestly, it depends, right? So for me, I suggest having a good range of prices when you're at market. So
Okay.
I like to go, my lowest is $10 items, and then I do bring up, like, I'll bring my large items that go up to like 200 plus dollars. But
Okay.
typically, my best sellers are in the 20 to $30 range, so I try to bring a lot of those.
Okay.
Yeah. So like at my big holiday market, I actually bring a big bin full of $10 items. And last year
Okay.
I went through I had to refill the bin like three different times because just stocking stuffers, and it's an easy grab for somebody that's on your list that you're not going to see in a little while, or you've got to send it out or
Yes,
something
it's
like that.
perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a perfect, easy gift and affordable. And do you set the price according to the time you spend, like making the $10, $20 little thing?
So pricing is it was like it's almost like a science that I've come up with, and I can just like figure it out in my head type thing, but it's a
Okay.
mixture of size, but it's not even size, it's more materials and time. So if I've
Okay.
spent 8 hours and I've gone through 10 skeins of yarn, that's going to cost, equivalent of that. But then it's
Okay.
funny because I actually went through for my big holiday market, and I was trying to figure out like fair pricing. And I actually I have like it's a number that I can multiply by the number of stitches, and it gives me a rough enough price that I either
Oh.
round up or I round down a little bit,
Mm.
and that ends up being the price that I would have given to it anyways.
Oh wow, that's a good idea. Yeah, because he actually tells you the amount of work you put, like the number of stitches. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
so
good idea.
there's a lot of makers I've seen with pricing guides and stuff like that, and a few of them actually I've seen do base it off of the number of stitches. So you have to count up through the
Mm.
pattern and you input that in to their calculator, and that gives you the price.
Oh wow. I never thought about that. That's actually a good idea. Well, thank you so much for people that are listening and want to do a market. I think it's actually a genius idea.
Yeah, no problem.
I never thought about that, but I feel also like experience, right? Like really help you with time, also knowing how to price, how to know your clients. Because do markets have different client? Like, can you see like, oh, this market have this type of clients, this market this type of clients?
I think it depends on where you live. So I'm from
Mm,
Toronto, and Toronto has a very large population. So depending on what part of the city I'm in, there's going to be a different population or of people. So I do find that different neighborhoods I can sell more items, or I sell more of certain animals, or
mm,
certain foods do
okay.
better. So it is very like diverse depending on what the event is.
Mm. And sometimes only doing the market make you know this factor, like you have to do it once at least to know your clientele for the next one.
Yeah, for sure. Like I
Mm.
suggest before doing a market to try and ask people who have done this event previously, or even
Oh
go
yeah.
to an event before you're going to book it to get a feel for it, to see who's showing up, ask other vendors their experiences. You need to do your homework
Yeah.
for sure.
And do you have to check also, because I know there is a lot of people that organize the market themselves. Like, do you feel it's important if they communicate around it or not? Like how they manage their own market?
For sure. Yeah, like
Yeah.
sit with the influx of every like with during sorry, I'm flustering myself there.
It's
During the pandemic, you know how there was lots of us who started crocheting? Well, there's lots of small businesses
yeah.
that popped up. So then lots of these market organizers popped up. So at least in Toronto, there's probably 100 different events going on every Saturday and Sunday. So you really have to do your
What?
research on who
Oh.
is organizing the event and whether or not they're putting in the time and money into like, is your market fee going to just pay their wages, or are they actually using it to advertise and try and get people to come to the event and put word out there
Mm,
and put on like
yes,
a decent show, or are they just in it to pocket your money and get and take off? Because market fees, depending on the event, some of them nowadays are very, very pricey, like in the couple $100
it has
range,
to be
right?
worth it.
So it's
Yeah,
got to be worth it. And if the
yeah,
organizer isn't putting in any effort, like you've prepared for the market, you want them to prepare for the market as well, right? It's only fair.
absolutely. Yeah. You know, it's so funny because I have a market right in front of my window every Saturday. I see it every Saturday from my window. And they started doing the market in the back. It's an outlet, and they started doing it in the back. And I was thinking, it's such a bad idea. You know, like clients don't see the market at
Yeah,
all. And it's so funny because for 2 weekends they did it in the back, and then this weekend I saw they put it in the front, and I was like, "Yeah, good job!" You know,
yeah,
like I could tell the organizer thought about it, and they were like, "Okay, what can we do to make it better?" And I feel that's important
definitely. Yeah, like you want the organizer to be putting in effort, making those changes.
because,
Like,
as you say, the fees sometimes can be very high.
yeah, and you have to be making
Yeah.
that back before you make any profit. So you want to make sure that like it's going to be an event that is well attended and people actually know about. So being behind a shopping center, like you said, isn't very good.
I was telling my husband, I was like, I wish I could put it in the front. That would be so much better. And they did. So I'm like, good for you.
No, that's good.
And I saw also you bought like a nice banner with your name, the Crochet Carpenter on it, and your social media and stuff. So you invest also in marketing yourself, right, for the market.
Yeah, in previous years, I was trying to do it very frugally, and I would just kind of used
Mm,
whatever I had at home, and I made my own sign on my Cricut and stuff like that. But this year, I
yeah.
decided to kind of invest a little bit into the business. So I
And it
got a
looks so
banner,
nice.
I got new tablecloths. I've been working on lots of different
Yeah.
market displays. I'm sure you might have seen them.
Yes, yes. I love when you show your booth every Saturdays. Like I love it. I love seeing it.
Yeah, I love showing it off because I always enjoy seeing other people's setups because
Yeah.
it gives me ideas.
Yeah.
It gives me ways to set up and just that experience of seeing what they've gone through. I like seeing it, so I'm sure other people do, and that's why I like
Yes.
posting about it so much.
And I love seeing the before and after. I don't know. Have you made a video like that when they show all the stocks they have and then it's empty? I'm like, I'm so happy for them. I'm like, yeah, good job. You sold everything.
Yeah, yeah. This year I haven't done that because things haven't been so good. But I have done that before. It's super fulfilling to see the
Yeah.
before and after. Yeah.
That's so nice, and I feel it's so encouraging for other people to. It can be scary to do your first market, so seeing this video really, I feel like encourage you to do it.
Exactly. Yeah. You see that other people are doing well and
Yeah,
it makes you realize that hey, I can actually do this
yeah.
perhaps.
Well, thank you for all this advice. I feel like your experience in market is like amazing. When we see your content, we can see you know what you are doing in terms of markets, and I think that's super impressive.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's been a lot of work.
I'm sure. And a lot of learning and a lot of trying, I'm sure.
Yes, lots of trial and error. It
Yeah.
wasn't something that I've just like come up with overnight. It's been a couple of years in the making for sure. Yeah.
And
My first market setup is nothing like it is now. Like I can cringe looking at it.
it just got better with time.
Yeah, for sure.
And you were talking about the Christmas market before. Like, do you feel these types of market before big holidays, like I don't know, like Mother's Days or Christmas? Do you feel they are usually bigger than the other ones?
Typically, yeah, because people are doing more shopping for other gifts, for
Mm,
other friends, family. So they're more likely to do like obligatory spending, I call it, where we all have this list at Christmas
Yes.
where
Yes.
we feel we need to buy people gifts.
Yeah.
And so we all end up doing lots and lots of shopping. And so markets end up doing much better. Like, it is the busy season for small businesses
Yeah.
typically. And so here in Toronto, we have it's called the One of a Kind Show,
Mm-hmm.
and it's an 11-day event.
Oh wow.
It's like the largest indoor craft show in North America.
Oh,
There's typically between like 600 and 700 vendors. So I've been
that's
doing that. This will be
huge.
my third year. Yeah, you set up kind of like like you actually have to build walls, and you set up a shop, and you're there for 11 days. It's like you move in to your own storefront. It's really cool. It's a
That
totally
seems
different
very
experience.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to doing that one again this year. It's
Yeah.
something that like you start preparing for like now. So I'm gonna slowly start making things
I'm sure,
for,
yeah, in terms of stocks and everything.
yes, yeah, because it's very well attended. Like last year, I think there was over 100,000 people that came through the doors. So
Wow. Yeah. And as you say, like sometimes you have to buy a small gift, for this aunt or this cousin or whatever. But I think buying, even if it's a small handmade crochet thing, it will always have a value to it. It's not about the price. I feel if I received one, even if it's like $10, $20, it's always better than buying something off Amazon, I will say,
yeah, no, a
because
hundred
it's
percent.
handmade, so it has like this value to it,
Yeah,
and it's such a good gift idea.
I find even that something about it being crocheted, even if it's kids who they're little and they don't understand that it's
Yeah.
handmade, something about it you form more of a connection to, and you see the value in it more.
Yes.
And so like it just puts a smile on
Yeah.
people's faces, and I people really do cherish the items for sure.
Oh wow, I'm looking forward to, because you're gonna post about it, right? In December you're
Oh,
gonna
for
share where you are.
sure.
I'm
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
forward
yeah.
to see that. It seemed like such a huge event.
Yeah, it's massive. It's something that's changed my life, I feel like, in the last couple of
Really,
years, because
every year.
it
Mm,
took my business to the next level, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah. And each year, I say, like, you have this routine of knowing that in June, July, you have to start prepping for it and stuff. I think it's so cool to look forward. I always look forward holidays. It always excites me. But like you're
yeah,
right, you have to. I'm started thinking right now about what I'm gonna make. Like you have to think early, because for me December is too late. Like if
yeah,
you post a Santa Claus on the 24th of December, it's too late. You
it's too
cannot miss
late.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be like a couple months ahead of the game to keep up with it, you know? You always got
Yeah.
to stay on top of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That can be challenging. I don't know what you feel as a creator, like content creator, to always, you have to do what you have to do that day, but you always have to think ahead of what's going on. And do you feel like challenged by that sometimes?
I do, because I find that my mind and my ideas are so sporadic that I'll plan things, and then it'll end up going out the window because life got in the way, or I came up with a better
Always.
idea, or
Yes.
like
A new
I
trend, and
find
you're like, oh, I have to do that.
exactly like
Yeah.
I honestly, most of my videos are filmed the same day they're posted, because if I pre-film things, then I get two in my head and I'm like, oh, that's not good enough. You
Yeah,
have to
you
do
start
better.
feeling self-conscious about it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
film and then post pretty much right away.
Yeah. It's really
Yeah.
hard to find this balance of, follow the trends, follow what's going on, and still follow the plan you had. I know I have a list of like 20 things I'm supposed to make this year, and I'm
Yeah,
I'm I'm, I'm sure I'm not gonna, make them all. That's not possible because I always get a new idea.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I was going through this whole like in my head for a while there, I felt I needed to create something new, like a new plushie for each day. And then, so it was like creating
Whoa,
pressure.
yes.
Oh, no, it was bad. Like my trailer in the
You just gave
backyard,
me
it's
anxiety
full.
just saying it.
It was full. So now I'm I've started to slow down, but yeah.
Yes, content creation it's a whole set of things. Like, whew, we can talk about it for hours, I feel.
Oh yeah, we could go on forever.
But it's
Yeah.
also very important for the business because talking about your yarn lake cup earlier, I'm sure you saw a connection between your content going viral and the sale of your patterns, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I was making reels about it and they did way better than any of the content I was doing previously. And so
Yeah.
I continued with the trend and I ended up because I don't typically post on Facebook, but I ended up posting Yarnly on Facebook as well. And I feel like that
Mm,
really boosted the awareness of it. And then
yes.
going viral in that regard ended up like correlating to more pattern sales, which worked out.
Yes. I think it's important we say it in this podcast. There is a lot of crocheters on Facebook. And I think we don't talk enough about it, but there is a huge community of crocheters that are not on Instagram, they are not on TikTok, they are on Facebook only.
Yeah, it's not even just the older generation. It's just some people don't like
Yeah.
Instagram and they don't like TikTok and they grew up on Facebook and that's what they've stuck with. And there's
Yeah.
a lot of crochet groups on Facebook
I,
about like there's
Aaron,
different
I'm sorry.
amigurumi ones.
Aaron, I'm sorry. There is a spider, like right
Oh
here.
no. Oh no. Is it on your
I'm
computer?
sorry. I have a. Give me 1 second. Oh my god,
It's
it's so
okay.
big. Give me
It's
one
okay.
second.
It's
It's okay, don't be sorry. I hope you keep this in.
Oh, my friend has had me drive to her house to kill spiders in the middle of the
I can
night because she's so scared.
I can deal with a lot of bugs, but the spiders I can. And here in Utah, I don't know what's going on. We have so many of them,
Oh yeah?
so many, and they're. I'm not exaggerating. They're pretty big.
I don't
I'm so
I
sorry
don't
about
judge.
that.
I don't judge. No, I it's okay. It's
So
okay.
unprofessional.
It's okay. It's okay. I
I
hope you
don't
keep
even know
this
what.
in. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, oh my
So
gosh.
many people can
Okay.
relate. It's okay.
Yes, yes. And I always say, "Oh, we love animal," and I had no problem like killing this spider. I'm sorry for the audience.
It's different. It's different.
It's different, right? And I feel that a little bit mean, like the way he's coming down at me. I was like, he was for sure attacking me.
Yeah, yeah, he was intimidating you. And then we were talking about Facebook and how there is a much
Oh, yes,
larger population of people on Facebook than we realize.
yes,
There's a
yes,
bunch of different groups and stuff like that. So
yes.
like
The
different
crochet groups are
amigurumi.
very good. Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots and lots of them. And I find that even there, like the community it's interesting how there's like the communities are different. So like I love the Instagram community. TikTok I feel like is totally different than Instagram, but in
Oh,
like
totally different.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's totally different. It's more like fun and younger almost, but then Facebook
Yeah.
is it's different and it's fun there as well, but they're all different
Yes.
in their own regard. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I've learned now
Absolutely.
that for certain things I do try and post over there if I can remember. And like all of my
Yeah.
posts, if I
Yes.
post anything,
Remembering part.
if I remember, yeah.
Yes.
Anything that I do post on Instagram though instantly gets posted up on
Yes.
Facebook, which is nice,
Yes.
so that people can see my content over there as well.
So you created a Facebook page, right, for your business?
Yeah. So I've got it's basically like with Meta being Facebook and Instagram combined, you can have
Yeah,
like a clone almost. So I have the Facebook page, and anything that I post on Instagram instantly gets posted to Facebook because I had a lot of people that were
yes.
like, "Well, I never see your posts." And I'm like, "Well, I'm on Instagram." But they weren't on Instagram. So then I
Yeah.
created that because there was a void, and now I've filled that and people can see my content, and I was getting more sales from that. So it's good to
Wow, yeah.
diversify, but I do find it
Yes, I feel
challenging.
so.
Like with you, you're on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and the podcast, and like it's so
Yeah.
much to keep up with. I don't know how you like I don't do TikTok even because I find that it's too much for me to do.
To be honest, on TikTok, I sometimes I try to create TikTok just specifically for TikTok, but most of the time I repost what I post on
Okay.
Instagram. I repost on TikTok because I don't have the energy, like on TikTok it's a lot
No,
of
for
talking
sure.
and people are, and sometimes I don't feel as comfortable than just I like showing my work and stuff. And the content on TikTok is very very different than Instagram, so I don't have a huge like community on TikTok because I just
No.
repost. So
Yeah. Like I
but
tried
it
to
can
do
be
the same
challenging.
thing, but I wasn't getting
Yeah.
any. My community wasn't growing on TikTok, so I just haven't bothered
Yes.
posting much there.
Yeah. It's tough, like to adapt to each community, and I feel you have to know them well. For Facebook, it took me a little bit of time to see what people wanted to see on Facebook, and I feel I don't know if it's the same for you, but like Instagram, I show my face, like you create thing, and on Facebook, honestly just taking pictures of my product is enough for
Yeah,
Facebook.
yeah, I've noticed that as
Do you
well.
feel the same way?
Yeah. For the most part, it's
Yeah.
the same. Yeah.
Yeah. When you post on groups and stuff, people just want to see amigurumi, so
They're
just
not
post a
interested
picture
in
of that.
you. They're just interested in the work
No.
and then where the pattern is because they want to make it
Yes.
themselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then that's the weird thing with Facebook for me because a lot of the groups, like some of them will have rules where you can post the link, but then others you
Yes.
can't post it. And so it's just a matter of like trying to keep up with that.
Yes, they are very specific rules. Like I know, I thought I was posting all the time on one specific group, and I was like, oh, that's cool and stuff. And I saw that all my posts have been blocked. I was like, none of my posts have been accepted because like people wants to know the pattern. So I used to put the link and I didn't pay attention, and
Yeah,
all my posts, like maybe 25 posts, were blocked.
they
So
all
I'm like,
got
oh, I'm
denied.
not getting the audience from it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be careful about their rules and stuff,
Hmm.
which I understand.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. You have to be
Yeah.
respectful. I got it.
Yeah, and sometimes it can be like if everybody posts their own pattern on each group, it can be such a mess, I feel, so that I understand there are rules.
Yeah, I think it gets a little bit overwhelming if everyone like spams their patterns on all of the
Their
groups for
own
sure.
pattern.
Yeah.
So, what do you think, like, what do you think is the best and worst part of your job? And you can start by the one you prefer.
The best part of my job is not really having a boss or any like boundaries or a schedule or anything like that. I can literally wake up when I want and
Mm,
and do it like if I've got something to do during the day, as long as I feel like I'm being productive at some point during the day,
yes,
whether it's in the
self-discipline is
morning.
like your own boss.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm,
So like sometimes I'm doing work late in the evening or sometimes it's early in the morning, but as long as I'm staying on top of it. And the
yes.
worst part, I don't, honest, having to pay for supplies, like yarn isn't
Oh yeah,
free.
I
Like,
wish I
I don't
could get free
know.
supplies.
There's nothing that's really
That's
all
a
that
yes.
bad.
Yeah.
Like, it can
No,
be
nothing to really
strenuous.
complain
No,
about.
there's nothing to complain about. I enjoy it so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, it's a blessing, right, to do what we do.
Yeah.
I think free yarn is something you should push. I think it's a good idea.
I tried. I put out that reel.
Oh, that
There
would
was a
be
couple
good.
people who said they were going to send it to me, but we'll see.
Really, there are people that say they
There,
will send you
there, yeah,
free
I
yarn?
don't know if they were joking or not, but there was one company that reached out to me. It's just I don't use they had like the worsted weight
Oh
yarn,
no.
so I don't use
Oh
that
yes.
brand. Yeah. But maybe you should put out a
You may
reel.
have
Maybe
to
you get
choose.
something. Oh, that's true. Can't be too picky if it's free.
Oh, sorry, my neighbor is talking way
Oh,
too
it's
loud.
okay.
Ugh. Sorry, between the spider and the neighbor.
It's okay. I thought the spider was hilarious.
Oh my god, I had a panic attack on set.
It's okay. I've
So bad.
My best friend has woken me up in the middle of the night to drive to her house to deal with a
Well,
spider.
I have to say, you are a very, very, very good friend.
You know.
That that's okay. I will do it, but you will hear about it for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, I will say it wasn't very far. Like I didn't live very far, but still, I do. She had to pay for that. Yeah, for sure.
And I want to to end the podcast, the episode, by asking you, what is your wildest dream for your crochet business?
At this point, my wildest dream would be to have a pattern book, I think. I would love to release like a book full of no-sew patterns of some sort. Um,
Yes.
but I don't know how if that's in like the near future or not. We'll see.
Anything is possible. I'm sure it can happen. You are very talented. You went so viral in like making your Stanley Cup. So I'm sure it can happen for you because you have like good ideas that are different, and I feel that that's what like publishers are looking for sometimes.
Oh, maybe. I hope so. It's just I guess I gotta put the effort into it. That's all. There's too many
Yeah,
other
I
things.
heard like a book is so much work. Like every time I talk to a crochet artist, they're kind of tired of the book,
Oh
like
yeah.
it's so much work.
Yeah, like a few of my friends have put out books and it's like a 6 to 8 month process and it's constantly
Yes.
back and forth and I mean it's worth it in the end. Like it would be amazing to have
Yes.
like a publication, but we'll see.
Yeah. And I feel like having all your patterns in the same place, like it would be so satisfying.
It would be
Like
like
just having them in the book. Yeah.
it would be like I'd be so proud. It'd be so cool. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day. One
Well,
day, one
I
day,
hope
one
it
day.
happens to you. Please let me know if it does, and please send me one because I will be
Yeah.
so happy
Yeah,
for you
for
if it did
sure.
happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, thank you so much, Aaron, for sharing your story and giving us all this advice about patterns, market, content. Thank you again. Thank you so much. Is there anything you want to add before?
Thank you for having me. I really, really appreciate it. It was great chatting with
Of
you.
course.
Like, I feel like we got a lot there, but we went off topic, but we also got a lot of information out, and
I love when it goes like that.
hopefully
Yeah,
something can be learned from what we said here today, and some value can be
I
taken
hope
from
so.
it.
Yeah,
So, thank you very much for having me again, Mathilde. And
of course.
yeah, happy crocheting,
It's a
everyone.
pleasure. And I feel a lot of people are gonna be inspired by your story.
Well, I hope so. I aim to be inspiring, and if I can do it, anybody can do it, right? That's what I love to say. So,
Yes, yes. And that's the purpose of the podcast, to interview all these creators to show that if you put if you put like a good amount of work, and if you really want to make it happen, you can absolutely make it happen.
yeah, for
So
sure.
thank you for being the inspiration today.
Well, thank you.
Bye, Aaron.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching this new episode of the Crochet Podcast. I hope you liked it. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumb up or 5 stars. It really helps the podcast growing and growing. And don't forget to follow Aaron on social media. On Facebook and Instagram, his username is the Crochet Carpenter. I see you very soon for a new episode. Please take care. Bye bye.